Hello everybody, Lythaniel here, and definitely want to thank you for coming back to check out another product review. What I've got for you today, it's pretty special. It is the Chef's Choice Trizor 15 knife sharpener. Actually, I've owned it now for 3 whole years, so I'm going to give a review based on what I've dealt with over the past 3 years. Actually got it based on America's Test Kitchen's recommendation. So just going to go over the pros and cons over the past 3 years, whether or not I think it's something you should own, and things you need to be aware of. So let's go ahead and head over to the knife sharpener and show you what it's got. Alright guys, so what I've got here is my actual first knife I've had for over 5 years. It's a tiny Farberware knife. I got it from Walmart 5 years ago, and it was getting really dull, and so really needed to spice it up. Sharpen it really is the best word. And as you can see, it's been years since I've used it. Take just a normal sheet of paper. This is bad. It should really go cleanly through paper. And that just on itself used to be something I used to have a lot of doubts about, where I'm like, oh, okay, anybody can slice through some paper with any kind of knife. But once I actually tried to do this with this knife, as you can see, it barely went through. So it was, transferring over to an inability to cut food. So it had to be sharpened. So I wound up getting the knife sharpener back in June, and it works amazingly. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, and I'll speed it up a little bit, is actually sharpen this knife back to a better than new status. And I'm going to go ahead and slice that paper again, and it's going to be pretty amazing. So let's take a look. Alright guys, so now I just finished up with the knife. Looking amazing. So let's go ahead and take that same piece of paper and let's see what it can do. Just maybe, I think real time, 7 minutes. So same knife, same shot. Like, get out of here. So, yeah. So, absolutely stunning. So, I've been using it on all my knives. Now, one issue that I have had with this, one of the, I guess I'll go into the pros. One of the best pros about this, amazing job on knives, makes them better than new. It's no lie, and it's still holding up well, 3 years strong. One issue that has come up though is with the knives. This is my new chef's knife. It's a Royal Doulton Gordon Ramsay style. You can actually get little marks on the side of your knife. So kind of the one that really stands out is that little line right here. So with that, it will mark up your knife, which is unfortunate, but to me, it honestly doesn't bother me because I'm just using these as knives, nothing more. But if you have something that has a high, almost a mirror polish on it, it's gonna be something that might be an issue for you. If you don't mind a little kind of marring, no big deal. But it's something to definitely take note of. So not the happiest about it, but for me personally, doesn't bother me at all. I just use these as tools. I'm not trying to keep them up. The beauty comes from the food I cook. The other kind of something that's not a con, but you just want to be aware of, is with the actual sharpener itself. As you do use it and time goes on, you'll notice right there, the knives, as they get sharper and sharper, will eat into the plastic. But I don't look at it as a bad thing, because you don't want something harder there, because as you pull the knife out, if it was harder, it will just dull the knife back up as you sharpen it. So you really can kind of see it on the final cut, where you get that really razor sharp edge. So one thing you just don't want to do is constantly keep pressing down on it, because you're just going to dig further into the plastic. But as long as you're mindful of that, and that's something where it's not even an issue for me anymore, you just keep going, sharpens the knives beautiful. And it's nice because I have knives that are still better. I've had this knife now for over 2 years. Running through this sharper will make it better than the day I bought it 2 years down the road. So, very well paid for itself. I did get it for about maybe 127. I caught it on sale back in 2017. So you may find it for about that price. It may be a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher. But a high recommend. High recommend. Alright guys, so as you can see, that is the Trizor 15 knife sharpener in a nutshell. Highly recommended. It's been a lifesaver, and it's really improved, or even over these years, after all these years, it's really improved my outlook on cooking. When you actually put these knives to food, limes, tomatoes, meat, it just glides through like it's a knife through butter, literally. So can't give it high enough praise. One thing to note, if anybody was a little eagle-eyed in that previous shot, one of the things you may have seen is that it did catch actually on that paper a little bit. One of the things I want to talk about is there is a nick still in this knife. So what happened is through that first stage, even though I went through it a bunch of times, that nick is still there. And I left it there on purpose, because that sharpener is more than capable of taking this nick out. But what you may run into is, even after you do all that sharpening, a nick may come back. And what that really just comes down to is the knife quality. It's an issue that I've always had with this Farberware knife. Like I said, it's, or I may not have mentioned it before, when I first got it 5 to 6 years ago, it was a $10 knife set. And you can see it's a 5-inch chef's knife. So one of the things I've always ran into, which led me to get into the sharpener, is even just through normal use, this knife will develop nicks in it. And while the knife sharpener can take it out, it's a hassle. So one of the things you really want to may look into, which is what I did, was getting better quality knives that's going to have better quality steel. This knife doesn't get anywhere near the amount of nicks, as well as it holds its edge a lot better than this knife. So, this one is going to put an amazing edge on it, but depending on that steel, it may become dull again. Even if you're just using normal plastic wood cutting board, it's going to dull a lot faster than this one. So one of the things to keep in mind is, okay, yeah, it is going to put a razor sharp edge on it, but you're also going to save time not having to constantly sharpen this kind of knife if you get just a better quality knife that's going to hold that perfect edge much longer. So definitely want to invest in that. Don't go the initial route I did. Don't go to Walmart, get a $15 knife set or $15 tasty chef's knife, where you're going to have to sharpen once a month from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Ideally, you should only be hitting stage 3 just to strop the knife and polish up that edge. So invest, maybe $50 to $100, or get a really good Victorinox knife. Get that good edge on it, and it's going to last you a very long time. So highly recommend it. As always, if you got any questions about the knife sharpener itself, or about the knives I use, feel free to hit me in the comments below. Always taking a look, happy to answer. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll have a lot more reviews coming up for you in the meantime. Thanks, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.